Hi everyone, and welcome to the NHPR Solutions webinar for release 9.8.0. Today is the 18th of August and it is 10 a.m. So the agenda for today, we'll just run through some welcome and housekeeping. We'll move into highlighting new features in release 9.8, including some demos, and then we'll move on to the next webinar and contact details. Panel members today are Nathan Smith, Product Analyst, Stephen Ryan, Product Analyst, myself, Carly Furlong, Senior Digital Engagement. The format will be slides and we'll show some new feature demonstrations, and then the contact details will be provided at the end for any questions. We'll now move straight into our new features for this release. I'm going to hand over to Nathan Smith.
Thanks, Carly. Morning, everyone. I'll just share my screen. So the first one we've got here is that for new users now being added to a road manager's portal account, the analytics reports will be available for them straight up. So previously they'd have to request this permission from their administrator on their account. Now, once they've been added and they accept the email for permissions, they'll have it straight away. So that'll just save a lot of effort from the administrator side of things. Next, moving through is for the accreditation. The call centre is getting a lot of calls from operators where they're getting confused about removing a vehicle from their accreditation module. So we've updated the tooltip wording on the trash can that's stating that click to remove this vehicle from your accreditation. So it just means now that there should be less calls coming through, and the operators will give a better understanding of knowing that they've actually removed the vehicle from their accreditation. I'll just quickly show that as well. So as you can see here, on a case, at the moment, I'll just do a quick one, sorry. So we've got up to vehicles. Make that over there. We can now see that extra wording on there. Plus, we also have from previous sprints, for duplicate cases, we'll try and reduce refunds and so forth, where if a customer does an update vehicle and they put through a vehicle and then they raise another case for the same vehicle, now we have a check that'll check the registration details, and a message will go to them to say that they've previously used this vehicle details for the same module, and it won't allow them to submit that case through. So this should help any duplicate cases coming through, to help with causing any unnecessary refunds. And lastly, we've added the four new selections onto our incident reports for the emergency services attending. We're adding their rural fire, state emergency service, safety compliance officers, and none. This will provide extra detail and more information on the incident reports, and also save any extra comments required, because these extra selections are available for the operators. And that's it from access and accreditation side of things. I'll then hand over now to Steve for PBS. Thank you.
Great. Thanks, Nathan. Morning, everyone. I will share my screen and we'll go through the features that are being released today for PBS. So the first one that we have today is validating vehicle number information inputs for VA add and remove vehicle applications. This is in the vehicle approval application forms. On the first step, when you're in the application details section, if you choose to remove or add identical or non-identical footprint vehicles, you get presented with these boxes down the bottom to give an indication about the number of vehicles that you will include in the application. Previously, these could be submitted with everything set as 0. These have now been updated to have a validation on them, so that they require you to put in at least one input. So that is the first one. So it's quite a simple one, but it'll just allow the correct information to be included with the applications when they're submitted, so that you don't have any unnecessary delays with the PBS team having to come back to confirm the information from the application. The next one is making the certifier an optional field for some VA application types. So we've had feedback from assessor certifiers and from the PBS team that a certifier selection for certain VA application types is not necessary. So previously it was necessary to select a certifier on all VA application types. So we know this causes problems for assessor accounts that have no associated certifiers. You weren't able to put in some types of applications. The ones that we have identified that need to have that mandatory input removed are transfer to different company name, transfer of company name and tyre updates. So again, in the vehicle approval application, what you'll see is that this certifier box for those application types won't be necessary. You could select it if you chose to, but if you don't have any certifiers associated with your account, or you don't want to, or you don't want to select it because it's not necessary, then that can be omitted from now on, and the application will validate and be able to be submitted. And then the final one is a couple of additional validations. So in previous releases, you've seen now that when you're putting in a VA application, you have to have a valid DA that's been issued to be able to look that up to associate the VA application to. So what we've done is put in a couple of other validations, a little bit similar, but sort of an extension of that. So we're now preventing DA applications for amendments or variations, or VA applications for any type except for new, to be submitted if they have a related application, DA or VA open. So that means that if you are in that situation and you have submitted an application and you have a further update to make, there is a couple of options around that. You can contact the PBS team and you can either withdraw the application that's currently submitted and then submit the new application, or you can wait till the one that's in progress to be complete and then you can submit the other application at a later date. This functionality will prevent you from submitting it, but it won't prevent you from completing the application and saving it in anticipation of when that other application is complete. What you'll see for that validation, this is just an example in the VA application. This has got a previous VA number in here that I know is sitting in the system as under assessment, so meaning it's an open application. So if you try and put this application in, you'll get this prompt. It'll pop up down the bottom of the screen here. So submit disabled application with the same vehicle approval number is currently open. So if you do see that when you're trying to submit a VA or a DA, that's the reason why, that there's a related application that is already open. If you want to progress it, you can contact the PBS team. Otherwise, you can just wait till the other one's been completed and then you can submit these applications. And that is everything for PBS that's in this release. And I will hand back over to Carly to go through the roadmap and wrap up the session. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks heaps, Steve. We'll now move into the roadmap for 2021. So as we've previously mentioned, we are now using a digital roadmap that you're able to access from within the portal. So when you're inside the portal, if you go to Information Hub and then Portal Roadmap on the left-hand side menu, you'll be able to see everything that is under consideration currently, in progress and released. We also have an ideas funnel where you're able to vote on things and say whether or not they're important to you. If something is important to you, you can say it's something nice to have, important or critical, which allows us to prioritise what task we move on to next. The in progress things are items that we're currently working on, and released will be items such as the ones you've just seen, which we have completed and have been released. Details of our next webinar. Our next webinar will be on the 15th of September, and that will be for release 9.9.0, and some information regarding user support. So we still have access to our 24/7 help centre. You'll be able to access FAQs, help articles, webinars, online training. Customers are also able to contact us via the 1300 number or the support email. Road managers also have their own dedicated hotline number and also an email. If you are within the portal and there is something that you wish to report, you will slowly over the next couple of weeks start to see access to a chat item in the bottom right-hand corner. Some of you may have already seen this. This allows you to talk to our team directly to ask for assistance as required. Thank you so much for joining us.